guess first, what can you tell us about Stein's injury and what you saw on the plate?
To be honest, I haven't even talked to him about it.
Yesterday, we talked about duels being important tonight, and León came out and won twice as many as RSL. What did you see about how they were able to win those physical battles?
Yeah, again, I just go back to the same, kind of the same thing that's been kind of haunting us, in particular the Dallas game and the Minnesota game, where the structure looks great, but the structure is only as important as the duels within that structure, both offensively and defensively. And on numerous occasions, we have one defensive action and not a second one, right? And so that I think that's the toughest part. And we're there, one defensive action, two defensive actions, winning the ball back. And I think the set piece goal is case in point. It's this being more aggressive when we defend, having more bite to our game. And what I was explaining to the guys is, in football, there's moments in a season where you feel like you're dancing through the game, and there's other moments where you have to roll up your sleeve. And I think we saw a little bit of that in Orlando with those guys rolling up their sleeves, and it looks a different team, right? And so again, I don't know if it's fatigue. I don't know. That just trying to put a finger on the why, as to again, the structure's fine, and that's maybe the biggest thing, where the last probably 3 weeks to a month we've done all our coaching on video, but we haven't touched the grass in a way that allows us, with so many games, to get into the nitty-gritty of what defending feels like. And so that's really my biggest takeaway from the game, because again, I think we created some really great opportunities tonight, and we didn't score, and that's not going to help. But defensively, I thought we didn't give up a whole lot, but we conceded 3 goals, right? So we just got to go back to the drawing board. Within that, there were some good performances. And like I tell the guys all the time, the effort was top. Like Morgan Gilavogi pressing guys in the 94th minute down 3-0. Aiden Herzakani doing the same. Pablo run. The guys will give maximum effort. But but like we've talked about in the past, Matty, the game of football is a game of moments. It's not 90 minutes. It's 5,400 moments. And if you don't get all those right, then you put yourself in a position to not get the results that you want.
Still looked like the game was there for you. Down 1-0 in the 65th minute, and then they just get 2 goals in 7 minutes. What did you see in that stretch that went their way as opposed to your way?
Yeah, well, again, I think if you don't capitalize on your chances, and again, tonight I thought we had some really clear chances on goal. And goals not only affect the result, but they also change the mindset, mentality, and momentum, right? And so and when you're in a stretch like we currently are, it's really easy to get down. And that's why I go back to we need soldiers now, a soldier mentality, where we expect it not to go our way, but we're still ready for the fight. We expect it now. Before, and there's this transition when you're dancing through the game, that you're catching the breaks. The balls, everything you shoot goes in, you're defending 1v1 and you're making the plays, but there's other moments like now, which is we're not getting any of the breaks, right? But the mindset going in to this weekend anyways is expect it to go poorly and show up. And I think that's really the message moving forward.
So is that how you keep a result like tonight from lingering into the weekend when you're going to be right back here?
Yeah, I mean, again, there's nothing we can do about that. And for me, I'm always, again, from my perspective, I can lose my mind and go nuts and be emotional. But really, it's about discovering what the issue is and what buttons to push, right? And like you said, I didn't even look at the stats about duels. I saw it with my eyes. And it was really clear that that's an area where that doesn't require technique. It doesn't require soccer IQ. It requires a commitment for the player next to him, right? And so that for me is And you can find, you don't need, it doesn't necessarily have to be football. It could be life, right? And so what I'm trying to explain to the guys and get them to sense and feel is that this moment doesn't call for a 3-2-4-1. It doesn't call for rotations. It doesn't call for stacking our 10 with our, it doesn't call for any of that. There's a ball, it's 50-50, who's gonna win it? That's what this moment calls for. And so part of that is personnel, right? And obviously that's my job. The other part is a real commitment from the guys to understand that goes for everyone on the field. It's not positional. It's not just the back line. It's the guys up front. It's the guys in midfield that we need to roll up our sleeves, bring our lunch pail, and get to work.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Coach Matthew with Bigcast, thank you for the time. Having made this Leagues Cup run against Liga MX side, you did a friendly after the break against Burnley. Once you get your legs back, will going against these skill sets of different leagues sharpen the team for the rest of the MLS run, give you better looks or different skill sets as you attack the rest of your MLS opponents?
Yeah, I mean, listen, these teams are super technical, and I think that's one thing that you can say about player 1 to player 20 on their side is they grow up with a really good understanding of the game, and they're all super technical. And having said that, I think we've handled ourselves really well against these opponents. And again, the margins are so thin when you create as much as we did in the first half and couldn't come away with the goal. So it's I think these games definitely help, but it's not really at this moment about our opponents. It's really about us and what we need to do, because I think when we play with the soldier within us, we have the quality to beat any team in Liga MX and MLS. However, what we've seen is when we don't have that guy present, our technique, our tactics will not win games. It just won't, right? And so there's been a lot going on in these last month and a half, and like I said, we haven't had a proper training session in a while. Trying guys in some new positions, right? There's a lot of variables going on, but we can put all that aside and say, listen, for this next game, this is what we need. And so right now, that's really the focus.
And then having faced 10 games since the break to Colorado 6, will you go back to Salt Lake? Will you stay here? Will you rest the guys? Will you get them that time on the grass to kind of really get into the grass?
Yeah, it's been quite a slog, and we'll have tomorrow off. We'll head back to Salt Lake. I think it's important for the guys to, in these moments as well, be close to family and be able to decompress a bit and not be in a hotel, not be showing up at training every day. So we'll give a day off, and then we'll get back to work on Thursday and see who recovers the best, and put a group out in the field that that can compete the right way, and obviously the fatigue part is real, and it's been I wouldn't want to say a good learning lesson, but it's been a lesson as to the importance of freshness in our group and energy with our group, because we are a dynamic team, and at times with the quick succession of games and playing guys maybe a little bit longer than we probably should, you start to see a lot of fatigue, and maybe that could be a culprit with this as well. So I think it's really this next day is really an opportunity for all of us to reflect and come up with solutions to confront a very good Colorado team away from home.
Profesor, Jonathan Medina, Univisión Colorado. No quiero ser reiterativo, pero el sábado un partido importante, derbi de las montañas rocosas, a darle vuelta a la página. ¿Qué se puede esperar del equipo? ¿Esa garra para traer ese coraje después de la derrota del día de hoy?
Ojalá. Yo creo que hoy día jugamos bastante bien en los momentos. No pudimos marcar un gol, y eso fue difícil. Pero yo creo que cuando tenés esta racha de derrotas, el fútbol pide algo diferente, más coraje, más competitivo, los duelos que son muy importantes. Esas tres cosas son sí o sí para el fin de semana, porque ya venimos hablando de la táctica, creamos muchas oportunidades, el rival no tanto como nosotros, pero marcaron 3 goles y nosotros no marcamos ni una, y eso es un problema. Y tenemos ahora que esperar que el partido siempre va a pasar en contra de lo que queremos, pero tener la mentalidad de pelear juntos.
I see that there was a question on Zoom. David James. You can go ahead. David, you can go ahead. All right. Well, apologies, David. We won't be able to get to your question. But thank you very much for everybody here in the room and on Zoom for joining. I'd like to conclude today's match post-game press conference. Thank you, Coach. And
Thank
good
you.
luck to the rest of the
Appreciate it.
season.